Good evening, my fellow masochists. How the devil are we all doing? It's a naked grandfather, and welcome to this week's top 5 camp competition. Now then, considering there were so many amazing camps submitted this week, and it's the first time that I'll be hosting this rather than DTD, I thought I'd, spice it up a little bit. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's take a look at this week's top 10 camp builds. Simply lovely. Right then, in the number 10 spot, we have Anduril with the Mysterious Place build. And I'm telling you now, the attention to detail in this is absolutely fantastic. I don't know how many aneurysms it would take to do some of the things in this build, but I'm guessing it's at least 4. No, 5, most definitely. I mean, for example, take a look at them light boxes on the wall. That's a pretty nice little touch, and I wouldn't have thought to do that, but I mean, would any of you? I don't know, but either way, it looks absolutely fantastic, doesn't it? Adds a nice little dollop of colour to the build. And it's not just bright in your face things like that either. Take a look at some of the merges that are knocking around. They're 100% spot on, aren't they? Aye, of course they are. I'm still trying to work out some of them, to be honest with you. In truth, Anduril, the only reason that it's not placed higher, this build, is because I couldn't see much of the outside of it. But other than that, it is simply lovely. Absolutely amazing work, and thank you for entering this week. In the number 9 spot, we have Greengrass with this New Year's Eve cake. And I'm telling you, Summer, I can taste the diabetes from here. Now I know, guys, I'm sure many of you have seen cake builds before, and you know how to build them. However, for those that don't, let me just give you a little rundown of how you actually do these, so you can appreciate the work that actually goes into them. In order to get a nice clean shape like this, you can't just put down foundations and slap walls on top of them. You need to use blueprints. And to make them blueprints, it takes a lot of faffing around, if you want it to look perfect, that is. There really has been a lot of work that's gone into this, and shape aside, just take a look at the decor as well. I mean, that staircase made out of the stones in the middle, absolute perfection. I bloody love it. All in all, it's a solid little build. Greengrass, thank you very much for entering. In the number 8 spot, we have Milne with his Responders build, and if you like your immersive stuff, then this is going to tick all the boxes. Now then, the main build in itself. Yes, it looks like a nice, simple, easy to do structure, but don't let that fool you, Mon Petit Fleur. To get them two slopey boys sitting in the middle there, it takes a load of messing around with offsetting foundations. And if you want a roof like that on your camp, then you're going to have to get a flamethrower trap and have a shed ton of patience. Where this build really excels though, at least in my opinion, is the way that Milne's decorated it. To be brutally honest with you, it's a lot harder to decorate an immersive, scrappy kind of build than it is a modern, clean style of build. Does that make any sense? Yeah, of course it does. Anyhow, Milne has absolutely nailed it with this one. It genuinely looks like something you could stumble across in the wasteland. All the crap that's sitting on the shelves and the way that he's placed down some of the furniture. It's absolutely bloody fantastic. Again, another amazing build. Can you see why I've had to do a top 10? Honestly, thank you so much for entering, Milne. Top work, mate. At number 7, we have Motionless with the new player pit stop. And this is honestly one of the best camp locations on the whole entire bloody map. And I must say, this build fits in absolutely perfectly here. To me, guys, I don't know about you, it looks like some old pre-war house or shop that's been converted into a trading post. Ah, yeah, I think that's the correct term for it. To me, it's a bit of a strange one, this, and I don't mean that as in it's a strange build. I mean it in terms of the materials that have been used to make it. It's a type of build set you'd usually associate with a modern style build, but for some reason, it's just screaming out immersive to me, and I don't know why, guys. It's a really nice, clean looking structure, but I'm still getting wasteland vibes from it. Like I say, it's a really strange one for me. All in all, this one's got a solid exterior, a really decent interior, which again, is clean, but is somehow still screaming out, I'm immersive. I just can't work it out. Absolutely brilliant work there, Motionless, and thank you very much for entering this week's competition. Well played, mate. Right then, at number 6, and just before we enter the top 5, is Goldfinger with his Love Boat build. And I must say, my friend, das ist sehr schön und gross. I've probably just told him that his cat has lovely nipples, but let's just gloss over that. At least I'm trying. I'm not going to lie to you guys, I have an unhealthy obsession with old ships, mainly stuff from the White Star Line, the Titanic, Olympic, all that kind of good stuff. And when I saw this, I was like, yeah, that is, that's ticking all the bloody boxes. And aside from that, these are quite difficult to build. I've never done a ship with a pointed bow like that, but I believe it does involve a blueprint and a load of titting around. And as you very well know, guys, over on TNG's channel, we appreciate masochism. Couple that with the fact that it's built on water, which in itself poses more challenges, and the fact that it's just, different. This makes it one of my favourite builds of the week. In all honesty, buddy, the only reason it's not placed higher is because of the sheer calibre of stuff that's come into the submissions this week. But honestly, dude, this one was spot on. Thank you very much for entering. So now we come to the top 5, yeah! And we're going to kick it off with a build from one of the legends of the Fallout 76 community. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm hand for Kova Camps, who has recently just come back to the game by the looks of it, and it's nice to see you again, buddy. Now let me just say, Kova has done some amazing camps over the years, but this one, you know, it's up there. I mean, who in the name of Christ doesn't enjoy a good missile truck? Especially one that's been so well made. The time this must have taken, yeah, I wouldn't have even attempted it. Each one of those missiles you see, for example, is one of the new rewards you unlock from the Nuka World on Tour events. And you know, I could be wrong here, but I'm guessing that all of them have been merge glitched into the dumpster. Or some other crazy, ingenious shit has been going down. I don't know. Either way, it looks really time consuming and it looks bloody impressive as well. I mean, just take a look at all those Enclave medallions that have been stacked up to make the platform. That's dedication, that is. Everything is just so well placed and so neat and tidy. It's fantastic. I really do love this one. And look at that there as well. I've just noticed that. The vendors loading up the missiles. It's stuff like that that really does, you know, it catches your attention, doesn't it? All in all, Kova, mate, this one was beautifully filmed. The build itself is absolutely spot on. And welcome back to the community, pal. It really is nice to see you building again. Right then, so on to the number 4 spot. And for this week, we have Lady H with a Nuka-Cola Agility Arena. And this stood out to me because it's bloody different, isn't it? I mean, I've never seen this before. And of course, it's extremely well made. The attention to detail is absolutely amazing. Take a look at the Nuka-Cola stalls, for example, how they're sunk into the ground as cages. That's bloody ingenuitive, that is. Now, I'm not sure if you've done that particular bit in Worlds or in Adventure mode, but either way, top marks for thinking outside the box. Again, another simply lovely build. The colours were nice and bright, the idea behind it was original and creative, and the whole thing was filmed really well. She's a builder to keep your eye on, this one. Lady H, thank you very much for entering the competition. At number 3, we have Vix with a castle build, and this stood out to me because it is the first time I've seen that prefab portcullis actually used in a decent way. Honestly, trying to build with that thing is like getting kicked in the ballsack repeatedly. It really is a pain in the arse to build around. But Vix has somehow managed it here and absolutely smashed it. It looks like some form of travelling Renaissance fair, you know, like one of the bloody things that you can go in. I don't know, we don't have many of them round here. I don't quite understand how a medieval castle in the wasteland could look immersive, but again, somehow this pulls it off. I could just imagine some self-titled Raider Kings sitting in here. I don't know, guys, I'm just throwing it out there. The medieval theme continues on the inside as well, and again, Vix, you've absolutely smashed it in here as well. It really does fit in with the rest of the build. It's creative, she's thought outside the box, and it really does look well made and put together. There really is a lot of attention to detail in this one. Vix, thank you very much for entering. Really do appreciate it. What an absolutely marvellous build you've come up with. Right, so now we come to the top 2, and this was bloody difficult. I actually had to get Mrs. TNG in to, you know, help finalise my decision on this one. So here we go. In the number 2 spot, we have Galactic Builds with the Vintage Villa, and this is absolutely gorgeous. The structure itself obviously has modern house vibes, but with that new building set with the wooden beams, it kinda, you know, makes it look slightly older. I can also see a lot of tricky little techniques used here. There's been a lot of foundation offsetting, and the colours that have been used are absolutely stunning. Who would have thought this colour scheme would work so well on an house, but I'm looking at it, so I guess it does. Seriously, mate, the exterior of this is spot on. Chef's kiss right there. And it doesn't stop at the exterior. The interior, again, is full of bright colours, and it just works, unlike Fallout 76 in general. I digress. We've got some cool merge glitches going on as well. My personal favourite is the jukebox merged together with the fireplace. Simply lovely. I must say though, I think the best thing about all this decor is the custom artwork that's been made. And there's a few pieces of it scattered throughout the build. And again, it's ingenuity like this that always surprises me. I mean, how in God's name would you even think of coming up with that? It boggles my mind, it does. This camp was so close to being number 1. And Galactic, thank you very much for entering. You can see how much effort you've put into this, and it really has paid off. What an absolutely amazing camp. Fair play to you, mate. Right then, so here we are at number 1, and who could it possibly be? Well, I'm not going to keep you waiting, so here it is. Congratulations Radrux with your nuclear noodle bar. This was absolutely show-stopping. Top marks all round. The filming for this one was absolutely sublime. It looked like a mini movie, to be 100% honest with you. And the build itself, simply lovely. It's the kind of build that looks like it shouldn't fit into a nuclear wasteland, but it does in a way. And like I said, we've had a couple of them in this lineup this week. But for me, this were the best of the bunch, and it really is giving me Diamond City vibes for, you know, obvious reasons. There really has been some time-consuming and creative build tricks used in this. For example, floating the bar pieces. That isn't an easy endeavour anymore. There's only 2 ways that I know of doing it now, and both of them are an absolute pain in the arse to do. But it's not just about the big obvious things like that as well. It's the little things. For example, stools merged into tables to look like wooden plates. It really is clever. This build is absolutely awesome. I can't think of any other words to describe it. And once again, congratulations on number 1 spot. And as DTD would say, hats off to you, mate. Well done. Anyhow, guys, that is it from me. Thank you to each and every single one of you for entering this week. Your camps were absolutely fantastic. Sorry for the ones who didn't get in. I really do appreciate your entries, and they were extremely good. It's just this week was bloody difficult. Everything was just, you know, top notch. As ever, guys, I'd like to say a massive thank you to all my Patreons. The extra support is much appreciated. If that's something you want to get involved in, the link's down in the description. And of course, if you want to get involved in this weekly competition, you also find the link to my Discord down there as well, where you can submit your camps and just talk about random nonsense. As we say in the north, guys, I love you and leave you, and I'll catch you next one.